And Skye P. Marshall, boy, gosh, there you are in person. How you doing?
I'm great, Tony. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I get to talk with you and Qasim. Am I pronouncing that right? Did I get it right?
It's Qasim like blossom or awesome.
Awesome.
Blossom.
I know this interview's over now. It's well, first of all, Skye, it's so lovely to meet you. I'm a big Matlock fan, and Olympia is one of my favorite characters, and
Oh, thank you.
you do such a great job. And also, thank you for your service in the Air Force. What a brave person you is.
Yeah, Uncle Sam was my sugar daddy and put me through school.
There you
You
go.
know, he bought me all my books, so I win.
That's good.
Uh,
You win.
let me start with
Yeah, blossom.
Qasim.
Just think blossom.
Wow, what a script, what a story, what direction. I mean, this is so beautifully done. It is,
Thank you.
it's I don't know how you got through this. I mean, this is such a great story, and it's a personal story to you.
Yeah.
Talk
Yeah,
to me about
absolutely. Well, I think in our business, people go through a lot of rejection, more than most industries. I would argue that maybe the most, the entertainment business. I don't know that we have yet figured out how to deal with it. Most folks, a lot of folks see a higher propensity of addiction, a higher propensity of, depression, all these things. Um, so I figured, the story around when my stepfather passed away, um, uh, 5, 6 years ago, I felt like why not write a story that dealt with both things? And this was a time when everyone was losing people during the pandemic, and a lot of times when I come up with stories, I'm like, well, how would this be relevant? Is this just something I want to say? Should this be a blog post? You know what I mean? But like to me at this moment where everyone I knew was experiencing loss, everyone I knew had lost 3, 4, 5 people. Um, why not make a story about it? And so I decided to do it around my stepfather's passing.
it is such a deeply layered story because as we delve deeper into the characters, it reveals so much about the human struggle.
Mm,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what I love so much about the title, to live and die and live. I experienced a slice of that while filming Matlock. You know, you wake up, you choose to live, you make decisions to feel alive, and then you get the phone call that can bring you to your knees, and that happened to me this summer, and I had to deal with the process of a brother dying, and I had to choose which mask to put on so I can survive through the day, even though I felt just completely empty on the inside. I had to be the strong one for my family. I had to figure things out and take over business affairs, and I never felt closer to the character Muhammad in my life after experiencing this, because I shot this film playing Asia prior to Matlock, and now here I
mm,
was having this moment, and I had to really, they gave me time to sit with myself, and there's never enough time, but it's enough time to wake up again and choose to live another day and choose to be
mm,
alive again, even if it's just a spark of inspiration or a spark of joy or a spark of remembrance that, from the person who's passed. And that's what I love so much, because every single human being on this planet will have to process or attempt to process grief.
Hmm.
yeah.
It's inevitable. And watching how Muhammad goes through that, and watching and experiencing Asia's journey through the roller coaster ride of survival that she's experiencing, being quite independent in the world with her trauma held tightly, but then she, meets Muhammad and he finds the crack in the castle wall, and it was such a beautiful experience to share that with Eamon Joseph, because he's incredible. And
Yeah.
yes, what Qasim was able to deliver in Detroit, I've never seen Detroit more cinematically stunning in my entire life. And he's a radical visionary, what he was able to pull off, because he shoots military style, but then he writes like a poet, and he brings that together. And we are just very real and raw, and the energy was just so thrilling. that I had
Mm.
more fun shooting that independent film than the hours that I spent on studio lots. You
Wow.
know, it was just real and deeply, deeply rooted in truth.
Qasim, you've created a new kind of noir. I mean, Detroit as a backdrop jumps out at you. It becomes a character in the film.
Mm.
Absolutely.
And it's been a character throughout my life, and specifically dealing with the man who was being honored in the film. You know, I originally when I saw Ikaru from Kurosawa, like this is not a remake of Kurosawa's Ikaru, but the character dies in the movie, and the rest of the film is about everyone who's talking about him and how he impacted them, right? And you only are able to feel that character in that way because of how powerful his performance was prior to him going, right? And so the rest of the film, and obviously it's about them getting this one park built, right? And in this film, we sort of we talk about a city that's being rebuilt. And I don't know if people really understand the magnitude of a city that had fallen as hard as Detroit had. At one point, Detroit made 40% of the cars in the world. Now we make like 2 or 3%. I mean, you know how significant that is. And to have a city drop off that hard and have a moment where it's having a renaissance, it's like, why not capture it? And why not show something that most people are not showing? Because, and it's so relevant to my stepfather's story because he built and repaired homes in Detroit till like a week before he died. And so that's what it meant to me. And just being a kid working on those construction sites with him, I feel it ingrained in my in my body, which is why it comes out on the page.
It is just so beautifully written too. It's, Skye, there's something Shakespearean about this film as well, and I can't put my finger on why, but there is something truly universally um, touching about the characters in this film.
I agree. I think it's because the way that not just the way that Qasim wrote it and shot it, but the trust that Eamon and I had instantly for each other to physically improvise and just put our
Mm,
bodies into it a lot, that it did feel like performing arts, and the words just rolled off of my tongue so easy, and it was something that I wanted for my culture for a very long time, to see themselves through this kind of woman, because I know that kind of woman, but I only see her mask.
Mm.
And so to see, like, what is it like, falling into this love affair immediately, and waking up after intimacy and he's gone, right? Or um having to survive in real time through just having fun. And that's what I loved so much about her. She just is a lightning bolt when she shows up.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I refer to her as a chaotic symphony, and that's what
Mm,
I kept
I
telling
love that.
myself. Like, those are the two words from that would represent. And so, like, I would move a certain type of way, and flick my cigarette a certain type of way. Like, I
Yeah.
did. You're right. It felt like poetry for me, which is probably why you had that Shakespearean feel, Tony. And Eamon was right
Well,
there too. His physical work is just phenomenal.
Uh,
I must say this because I did do a lot on the film, but it would have been impossible without people like without Skye, without Eamon. Like it would have been impossible to do that without them coming in with all of this and with their ideas and with the incredible talent they had. I mean, it is like, I mean, they blew me away. I just was like, oh, wait a second. Like, the screenplay of a film is in few forms. One is when you write it, then there's principal photography, then there's when you edit it, right? And what you get during principal, and you're like, oh, this is okay. I'll have something to work with, and then sitting there and post, and the amount that we had from them, including the other ensemble of the cast, Miriam, Dana, Corey, Omari. It just was phenomenal. So I wanted to I want to make sure that I honor them because, this is it's such a collaborative effort. And the only way this kind of movie works is if they are able to bring those kind of performances to the fore, because without it, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's one of the most fantastic scores that I've ever heard, truly. That song lives rent free in my mind, and that is so important to me when it comes to film and series is, the rhythm of the storyline that you're taking us through. And I don't know where that song is from, but my gosh, is it perfection.
Yeah, I was going to mention the soundtrack too because it is so beautifully underlining what's happening on screen. And as Skye said, there's a rhythm and cadence to life, and there is the same rhythm and cadence to this. It's like breathing, and it's such a
Mm,
beautiful film in all of those aspects. And a
thank
true
you.
labor of love, I would think. And we hear that all the time, but a lot of people don't mean it. But this really is a labor of love, and the audience feels it.
Oh yeah, it's only exists through love and through through people willing to put it on the line. I mean, just the physical nature of it was a difficult shoot. It was hot. It was summer. It was COVID. I mean, literally getting tested every few days, and the masks, and it was intense. And then the question of whether someone would have COVID, and did we have to shut down? And Rodney and I, my other camera guy, the physical nature of the rig that we had was heavy. Actually, I
Oh
lost
my
weight
gosh.
on the thing.
Yeah.
But it also allowed us to move that rhythm that Scott talks about. It allowed us to move with them. And I'm a director who's like, what marks are you talking to? Like, marks? What do you mean? And my first AC is like, you're crazy, man. But so trying to pull focus with with no marks and with just never stopping,
Oh yeah.
But
Didn't
but
you
uh
didn't
but you
you
got
like injure your ankle at one point and we kept shooting when you slid down the
I
stairs?
thought we
You
weren't gonna talk
slid
about that. I thought we
down
were
the
gonna
stairs with the
nah
camera, still
no, I
filming,
did fall.
and
I did
that
fall
camera
once.
did not touch the floor. And we kept rocking, and Cosmo was like, I'm good, let's go. I'm like, he's an athlete. Like, this is phenomenal. I mean,
Mm.
you heard him say we shot like during the COVID period, we shot in the airport. Like the things
Yeah.
that this man was able to pull off isn't short of extraordinary. I mean, the
Mm.
scene where the poster from Sundance where Eamon Joseph and I are sitting on the rocks. I remember like he was like, "You good with heels and rocks?" I'm like, "For you, brother, we doing heels on rocks." And I remember the security guard was like, "Okay, y'all, y'all got like 20 more minutes." I was like, "Okay, sis, look, we don't want no problems. We
No, no,
almost
you
done."
remember he ripped off his shirt because he was ready to fight.
Right.
He's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh
he
my
just ripped
gosh.
off his
Yeah.
shirt.
Like
I'm like, bruh, we're
it was
not gonna fight you out
so
here.
much chaos going on around us, but that was real art. Like it was high stakes, and we, like you said, it was a labor of love. Like we all trusted Casa, we trusted the team, they trusted us, and we were doing makeup in back seats of cars and wardrobe changes in front seats of cars, right? Like
Yeah.
it was, and these are all powerful performers, respectfully. All of us outside of just, Eamon and I, Omari and Corey, like forget about it. I'm massive fans of theirs before I even started pursuing acting. And we all did this because we believed in the script, we believe in the movie, and we know that once the audience shows up in the theaters May 30th to see To Live and Die and Live, they're going to be just as blown away as everybody at the Sundance screening, from the Detroit screening to the Chicago screening.
Yeah, I saw it at Sundance and I saw you there. And
Mm.
I
Oh, get
went,
out.
I went, and you, so there. Um, but Skye, do you take a piece of these characters with you? Do they live in you in some way?
No, they don't, but I hope that I can leave a piece of me in the characters. And so like when I watch Asia, um, I can see I can see moments where I let myself beam through in the character, or sometimes definitely with Asia, I I snuck some things I just kind of didn't want to unpack into that character, and that made it very easy
Mm-hmm.
for me to access my emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And so there have been times, not often, but if the writing and the character is really good and the trust is there, I will therapeutically attempt to heal myself through whatever my character is experiencing. And Asia helped me at that time of my life with that. And so I I haven't played that character since 2022, so I'm excited to see whatever last seasonings Qasim put on, because Qasim, he has a whole drawer of seasonings, and right when it's final cut, it's like, wait, let me put just a little extra dash, and then you're like, goodness gracious. When I saw the posters, I was just absolutely, oh my gosh, you're such an artist, Qasim, and I'm just
Oh,
so thrilled.
you're such
I'm
an
just
artist.
so
You're
thrilled
such
to
an
collaborate with
oh,
you.
And I'm so
you too.
grateful that I
You
got
too.
to speak with
It's
both
an
of
honor.
you. It's such a pleasure, and I
Thanks,
hope
Tony.
you treated your cast to some Conies while they were out in Detroit. The American
We were
and
Yeah,
working.
yeah. Yeah, we did a lot. We did a lot of that. And in fact, we had a lot of Coney's in Detroit and Sundance at the Detroit House. If you
Hmm.
remember, I don't know if you were
I
there, but
do.
that was one of the meals that we were definitely making sure to serve.
Well, I love Detroit. It's such a great city to be. I love the Motor Inn and all of that. And you guys have been so wonderful to me, and I'm so grateful to you. Thank you both so much, and I am
Thank
so
you,
happy
Tony.
to be able to share this great film with my audience.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony.